Hey Vinny, you know the story of Cain and Abel, where Abel, as after Adam and Eve fell, and Abel was the tended to the herds, while Cain tended to the fields, and Abel was celebrated at the slaughter, and Cain was no one really cared so much. So they didn't feel the celebration that God handed to Abel. They thought it was different, right? Abel's kind of like the rock star of the relationship, the application, right? And Cain was the connection. They're the one talking to God in the field, right? So Cain became jealous of Abel because they weren't able to achieve that status, right? They didn't feel the celebration in their sacrifice, and and that's where the violence came from in that relationship. The reality is they're brothers, and they're both children of Adam and Eve, who absolutely celebrated both of those children as their offspring, right? As their blood. And there was no difference between them. They were equals under God. It was the things that they picked up. It was the weight that they carried that caused them to see each other differently, that caused the connection and the application, the C and the A, to see them as one being better than the other. And the reality is that one does not exist without the other, right? This doesn't exist without this, right? Without somebody there to celebrate it. And that's the reality that we're living in today is the the applications get this concept that they're powerful, but the reality is without the connection, they're they're worth nothing. And that connection is spread so thin and so far that they see themselves as carrying the weight, but it only goes so far. And the reality of the situation is the deep, dark, God held reality is that we're all equals on this planet. Me, you, the special needs kids that are struggling just to get through every day. We're all equals, and we all deserve the same attention and love of the connection of community and society and one another. And without seeing the relationship as equal, we've fallen from the grace of God. And once again, tumbled down the path that Adam and Eve set us on. God bless.